We will never know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. We will never know. Wow. It'd be hilarious if for some reason this worked. Okay, well, finally got it working. Okay, so maybe no. I don't know. Need, I don't even want to mess with it. Maybe now. Okay, we're gonna stick. We're gonna stick with that and see how it goes. Maybe need to do a little tuning, but still makes zero sense. But whatever. Okay. Anyway, what are we here to do today? I'll tell you. We are gonna attempt to build a security operations center. And that's exactly what I have in the background now. Wonder if I can bring up like a doodle pad or something. That would be cool. Um, or screen that to a screen. Don't know. But what we can do is be bored and still, you know, do things that are pretty much only done for work. And that hopefully this doesn't mess with YouTube algorithm. Oh no, what do we do? What do we do? That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make things secure. We're trying to take anything that's confidential, anything that's personal, especially items and devices that are connected in your home network. And we're trying to make them secure. And most of all, we are ironing out the testing and dealing with this platform called YouTube that we know and love. That's some of it. But, sometimes depends on what streaming software you use, but the one I'm using, it's lacking some sense making. It really just doesn't work sometimes, and sometimes you gotta live with that. Hmm. Maybe we can play the AI game. We can just ask AI what we should do. But essentially, that's what I want to do is build a SOC, and SOC stands for Security Operations Center. So the biggest reason to do this for me personally is to test my skills against myself, taking rules that are defined. There's lots of public sources that you can gather rules. CISA puts out a list that you can implement yourself in through your own system. So yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. My Apple Watch thinks I'm lazy though. Tells me I need to keep moving. Yep. And yeah. So it's my opinion that this microphone should sound better than the one that's built into my MacBook, but we won't know for sure till I can get in there and dig into it. But yep, here we are. What are we actually gonna do? Let- let's think. We want to hack everything. The first thing we need to do is learn how to get through the most secure defense. And in most cases, that is the most secure defense is commonly an actual group of people that are they're working in the environment. So a security operations center, they might not actually be in the environment, but they are working together, and their central goal is to secure as best they can with as little time spent on each security avenue that might be brought up. And most of the time, that comes in the form of alerts. But yeah, for the most part, we'll just be sitting here and, you know, ask me anything. But this is kind of a joke. Confidential. Eh, is it really respected? It should be, and I respect it, but a lot of people don't. This is my power deck. The new streaming setup does seem to be finally working pretty well. Hopefully, the next time I open it, it actually is working. So that would be cool. I want to change the title to like the road to 1,000 subs. It's a long one. We'll get there eventually. Hacking everything. We might just do like a hack the box or something. I wonder if it'll still show up if I swerve off. Probably gonna be black, isn't it? Nice. Looks like it did. Secure and confidential. Those are the main things to remember here. Secure, confidential. What will happen? But one of the things I'm thinking about is Cali purple. Cali purple. So essentially, it's going to be a stock in a box, is what I'll call it. And that's what I like to refer to it as. And I'm also watching myself, and it's about a 10-15 second delay. So that's fun. Confidential. Secure. Oh no. But how do we hack everything? We just do it. Okay. We just do it. Let's see here. Hmm. Well, that's kind of cool. Oh, am I? Let's see. Yep. I was thinking about doing one of these while I work, but I feel like it'd be really boring for people to just sit there and watch me type because I can't really show you anything I'm working on. So that's the nature of doing pen testing, red teaming, security investigations, etc. That's a plugin, and it's written in Japanese. Hmm. Yeah, it would just probably break my stream if I. We'll get there. We'll get there one day. We'll be multi-streaming. But for now, we're gonna stick to YouTube and my 0 viewers. What will we talk about? Everything, anything. Well, what we can do is talk about some really good Discord channels that you should check out. One of those is Try Hack Me. The other one, Hack the Box. That one I really didn't like too much. The mods in there are kind of weird. That's all I'll say. Work Smarter, definitely one of the highly recommended ones. You know, you know, if you know, you know. But really, we can't talk about too much crazy stuff. But I will say, so some of the certifications that I've gone for so far, and Pen Test Plus, we got Security Plus, we got PJPT. Definitely, probably gonna do PNPT next, and then CRTO for sure. The thing I don't like about certifications is you can essentially cram and jam and figure your way through certification, just like you can. There's a lot of people that graduated shouldn't have, and it's because, well, the whole cheater thing. But essentially, you can memorize the answers to the questions and then just regurgitate, and that could be enough to get you through, to get you by. Mm, yep, cram and jam. That's the name of the game. It only took me like 30 minutes to finally get my stream going. But soon I'm trying to stream on the Work Smarter Twitch, and I'm trying to do concurrent streaming, so that's fun. But looking into that more, I don't even know if my internet could handle it. Honestly, I have terrible internet. I'm in the middle of the nowhere. Really, well, it's not the middle of nowhere. 60, 70 miles away from a major city. So, but if you look into it, you can see. But yeah, we'll see though. Oh, it is dead. It is dead. I could pull up a Cali and do something cool. Heck, hmm. This one? Wonder. I wonder. Let's check. Oh, it's actually working. Oh, that's why. What about this? Let's check. Oh, you can't have two things, I guess. Yeah, there's too many options. Yeah. Oh, hey. What's happening? Yeah, hey. You hear me? Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes I do see somebody in here, and I'm wondering the same thing. Like, what are they up to? Yeah, what was special about it? Yeah, I think I don't know how long I've been a part of this. A long time. I'd say. Maybe even 2 years. And now I'm back. Yeah, but it's not like anyone really. Where'd everybody go? We'll just add more to this conglomeration of put that there if we wanted to. Yeah. Too bad you can't. You know, just need like Microsoft Paint or something. I could do whatever I want. Call this the triad security. No, triad. You know, I could have swore that YouTube was doing a better job at recommending. But right now, it's like, yeah, nothing. We don't need to see that. We don't need. But and we can talk about anything. And talk. Sure. Okay. Fun. And try not to sneeze again. You know, I'm kind of glad though that the whole AI craze seemed to die off. Pretty nice. Okay, let's ask for it. I guess proper. Um, I'm gonna say doing a cybersecurity. Should I talk? Oh, cool. Yeah. Look at that. Tells me exactly how to do it. I don't care if the AI craze has died. It's given me wonderful guidelines here. Okay, cool. Yeah. We'll just do an introduction. Yeah. Wow. We'll just do an introduction to cybersecurity. Introduction. Uh, oh, that's fine. Well, we gotta put this on. There we go. Now we're cooking with oil. Define cybersecurity and its importance. Why is cybersecurity important? I would say number one, keep people safe, keep data safe, keep privacy safe, keep privacy in the front of people's minds. I think cybersecurity and privacy go hand in hand. And some of the things, like, people very often underestimate how important privacy is because we're just not thinking about it all the time. We're just not. We're just not thinking about it. If you can imagine somebody just looking into all of your activities constantly, day in and day out, everything you do, you need to be able to back. Which, well, some would say spiritually, that's a good thing to live by. But it's one of the things, just privacy in general. If you haven't read the movie, or if you haven't read the book 1984, now I'm not saying that's what current reality is, but I will say there are a lot of similarities, and it's kind of scary sometimes when you go to that and you're looking at it and you're just thinking, half this stuff's already happening. Just wild. Cybersecurity, though, the practice, understanding that every single system at one point or another has or will have a way for somebody with malintent to leverage that system to do something. Could be positive, could be negative. Most of the time, it's, yeah, that's the definition of it. It's just so important. Thinking about the of level of thought and effort that can go into it, endless. And the same goes for the practice of protecting those systems that are in place. It could be something as simple as smart. It could be something as complex as a data center. But in the end, they all rely on that same ecosystem and understanding that people have, that these systems can be leveraged for what they were built to do and then also what they weren't built to do. And I think that's where hacking really became a thing, is where people started, people just began understanding that even though systems were built to do this, I could take that same kind of shape it a little bit and make it do this and this and this and this, and it could be endless. I mean, if you think about it, that's pretty much how the internet formed. It started with DARPA, if I'm correct, and that was to, I think it was to interconnect supercomputers. I believe so. I think it was to interconnect supercomputers so that we could process ballistic information. Uh, we could take targeting data, take the inputs, and then send those over the DARPA net to a supercomputer, and then it would perform the calculations and send it right back in an instant. It would tell you exactly how to change and develop that targeting information to accurately hit the target. I'm pretty sure, I'm going off of memory here, so I could be totally, but I'm almost positive that's the basis of how internet was formed. And in that, from that small little thing, developing alongside it was information storage. So that was the transfer of information, and we had the computation before that to enable the transfer. And then we have storage. So you interlink all those things, and now and that's led us to where we are now, where I'm able to do exactly what I'm doing now is streaming video and audio securely over the internet to no viewers, but that's not the point. Could be many viewers. But in that, if cybersecurity wasn't important, this wouldn't be possible. There's so many malicious actors out there, and just people that want to do harm for fun, for a reason, for no reason. They're bored. A lot of the crazy hacks that happened early 2000s, late 90s, those big hacks that happened were just groups of people that got together to have fun. And the name of the specific type of group is slipping my mind though at this moment, but yeah, essentially it's uh for for hacksaws. I forgot exactly what they call him. But one YouTuber, David Bombal, he's always talking about it with Own the Web, which all of their videos I've ever watched together, they do great content. But yeah, I kind of went down the rabbit hole a little bit, but an introduction to cybersecurity. I mean, this is huge. One of the best comparisons I say for when I first started looking into cybersecurity. I've done IT for a long time, but when I first started getting into cybersecurity specifically, I just remember initially wondering, looking into it. And I always did, I did malware removal and virus removal stuff, and I kind of touched on it, but it was always I could just see how big of a rabbit hole that alone is. And then when you go to cybersecurity as a subject, it was like if you go back to the movie Monsters solely, or when the kid opens the door, slowly came through and or follows them through, and it's that warehouse of just doors flying all over the place. That first door was me opening the door to cybersecurity, and and then I look around and it's just a never-ending hallways of doors everywhere, and each one of those is a specific subject within cybersecurity. It's just endless, and everything has a tiny little niche that somebody has spent countless hours studying and figuring it out. And you could honestly say that every subject is similar to this. I did audio engineering too in the past, and it was similar. But I will say that nothing was as overwhelming as cybersecurity, just because of how many experts there are out there that tell you this is the way you need to do it, and this is the way you should do it, and this is the way. And I've done it like this, and there's a million different things, and it's just endless. But but in the end, we all center around a central idea. And really, if you just take the cyber away from cybersecurity, it's just security. And the core principles of security apply in cybersecurity. You just throw in cyber in front of it. It's the security of the cyber world. I would say that's the best way to just kind of boil it down into its simplest term: the security of the cyber. And why I think one of the things that led me into this pathway of cybersecurity was oh, sorry, I just got distracted by something. Was my time in the military. My first 4 or 5 months there. The thing about when you go through basic, I was in the army, and when you go through basic, um, spend a lot of time with people that you wouldn't choose to spend time with, that you didn't choose to spend time with. Well, technically you did because you signed a contract, but you all get put together and you all get crammed into this little room. And I would say the room, it might be maybe 30 foot by 50, not including the bathrooms and showers that were attached to it, and we call that the bay. And in that, it's kind of like if you imagine you ever seen an open cell prison bay. I don't say that because it's funny. It's because it's true. But in spending this time, I met some people who I had some of the best conversations in my life, and really just seeing where they came from. And one of them worked in the cyber world, uh, not security specifically, but based on how I was speaking. And sometimes, I kind of brushed on a little bit before I joined the army, before I went there. I brushed on John Hammond a little bit. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure either John Hammond or Network, one of those two. I want to say just before joining, I kind of watched one of their videos and it really hit me. I was like, you know what, this is a really interesting subject. And it wasn't until I spent 10 months away from all technology pretty much that I really every day I was thinking of ways that I could use it. And I was taking the tactics and the security and the understanding of tactical knowledge that I learned in infantry school in the army to I was just thinking, constantly of how similar the concept are. But I will say one of those men I met in basic there. We were all generally an older class too, so that was cool. And I joined when I was 24. So, but and in that I met some people, like I said, and some of those conversations, and one of them I remember specifically was pointing at CompTIA as a reputable start just to get going. And I probably spent, I would say, a year or so kind of researching my way into the best pathway. And this is one of those things too, and I was right about it. There's just so many doors that open. But I will say the time that I spent in the army and uh, learning tactics and security, it just applies so well. That's like I said, if you just take cyber right off of cybersecurity, it's just security. And that's all. In the end, that's what it boils down to. And here I am just rambling away at nobody. but serious. And I just went into the rabbit hole there. But one of the things that, like I said, or like I was getting on, the leading to the certification bodies, definitely John Hammond and John Chuck and David Bombal. Those three, I would say, were very strong influences on to get where I am now. And and then also that is part of it. And the men that I talked to when I went through training. But the biggest thing by far is just my never-ending yearning for knowledge and practice and understanding and hacking in general. It doesn't have to be, I don't think it's of hacking it specifically just on the keyboard, but you can hack anything. That's why. And that leads me into the name of this video. Hack everything. Hack your life. Hack your computers. Hack your network. Hack your understanding of the world. Hack your spirituality. That same concept of it was built for this, so it should be like this. Well, I'm going to take it and do this. That whole concept you can apply to everything in your life. And what it has done for me is everything. And I continue to do it. Second to that is the continuous yearning for knowledge and just always wanting to learn more. And always wanting to, when I see something I don't understand, which is hard for me, but if I see something I don't understand, I want to check it out, investigate it, and learn it and understand it. And I would say, and I agree with TCM Securities, the Cyber Mentor, uh, which is where the PJPT is from. He says that basically Google will make you or break you as a pen tester specifically, and I probably couldn't agree more with that. I don't know if anybody ever watched this, but if you're out there and you're wondering where you want to go, and maybe cyber looking like an interesting avenue for you, do it. Like I said, hack everything. Hack your phone. Hack your life. Hack your relationships. And yeah, so I went pretty deep into that rabbit hole of the definition of cybersecurity and its importance and the significance of cybersecurity in today's interconnected world is huge. But we'll say, for example, the most one of the most recent hacks. We'll say we'll be professional and call it a cyber attack. One of the most recent one. Let me pull it up. We'll just pull it. The 23andMe. This one. Okay, so 7 million 23andMe customers were included on this breach. We'll call it a breach because that's what it was, but it was a cyber attack also. The biggest the biggest issue with that 23andMe breach was how 23andMe handled it. And it was essentially like it wasn't really our fault. It's your fault. It was you, 7 million users. It was your fault. And they continue, and even in you can look this up yourself. I'm not gonna bash 23andMe so much as I'll bash the way that they handle. That's just one example. And there's these. This is another reason why cybersecurity is so important, is because there's, like I said, people out there. They're gonna do bad things regardless. And once they learn how to do it on a computer, they're gonna do bad things with the computer. And just like we need police officers, sheriffs, uh, the general public, and stop bad people from doing things in the physical world, we need the same thing for people in the cyber and technological world. Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody commented offline saying, "I have a gate threshold set too high." Probably because my compressor is in the chain right now, and I have not even looked at the knobs. I just plugged it in and turned it on, and I can see my gate turning on mid stop. So hopefully, is it just hopefully it's not just cutting off too soon, and most of this is has been legible for the most part, or I've probably just been too far away from the mic. Yeah, exactly. Hack your tree. We need to bring this guy live. He can make his comments live. I'm gonna tell him. But anyway, so we'll get back into it. Anyway, the impact of the 23 and me. Oh wow. Okay. Well, we got an old man watching YouTube through Safari. For example, I wonder why. I wonder why he doesn't have the YouTube app. Probably because it gives away too much of your data. Watches you do everything. That's one of these things, you know. It's something to think about with cybersecurity in mind. When you download an app and you don't even check the permissions that you're enabling on this app, you just say, "Okay, install." I don't care I don't care what you're gonna look at. Just install it. You can go to the App Store right now. Get out your iPhone, or if you have an Android, same principle applies. Go to the App Store. Go to apps. Let's look at TikTok for example, which I don't have installed for this reason exactly. Go to TikTok, just scroll down a little bit, and go to privacy. Right here it says app privacy. Data used to track you specifically. The following data may be used to track you across apps and websites owned by other companies. Your contact information, your email address, and your phone number. Okay, so you're just handing this right over to TikTok whenever you install the app. You are accepting the risk of that, and they're going to sell it for sure. TikTok is 100% going to sell your email address, and it's going to sell your phone number to companies that want to advertise to you, and they want to spam call you. Second to that, the more data to use to track you is your device ID. So when it says track you across apps and websites owned by other companies, that means it's going to use your device ID, see which sites you visit, and cross-reference that to form a profile on you. I mean, essentially, that's what the government does, but to criminals. But it's all the same concept. We won't get into that too much. Data is everything. This is a data centric world now that we live in, which is what I was getting to, which is why you need to hack everything. You need to understand the underlying technology as much as you can of everything around you. Unless an EMP is going to go off, then we're all, doesn't matter. But you should understand as much as you possibly can for the same reason. Okay, so back to TikTok's invasive features. Third party advertising. So, this is just data that's linked to you. The following data, which may be collected and linked to your identity, may be used for the following purposes: location. Cool. Contact information, so the same thing that's used to track you: email address, phone number. Browsing history. Okay. TikTok is collecting your information, your location information, your email address, phone number, your browsing history, your user ID, your device ID, your interaction with the product, and how you interact with advertising data. All that stuff is used for third party advertising. So, a long time ago, probably with one of the friends of mine that may be viewing. Yes, browser fingerprinting. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, let me lower this gate real quick though. I did about 3.5 right there. Maybe that'll be better. It's still cutting out a little bit early. I can see it. I can see it turning on. I wanted it to cut out basically when I'm not talking. It's instantly on. I can see it's kind of in between words. So let me turn it up a little more. We need to get him on here so he can share his story. When are you gonna get your? You gotta get your. Actually, you don't really have to do anything. You just gotta basically FaceTime me, and I'm pretty sure I can just screen record it. Yeah, the release setting is fast as possible. I think no hold, no hold setting. That should be better. It's set to engage at 15. You know what? I think I think I've turned it the wrong way. There we go. Okay, now I see it's better. Yeah. I was turning it the wrong way. OBS kind of sucks. But anyway, so what I was getting at, right? Like 150 to 250, you think? Let's try this maybe. That's a little better. Yeah. Now it's catching my nasal breath, so I know it's in the right setting. But anyway, so what were we talking about? Like I said, pull out your phone, go to the App Store. It doesn't matter what phone you have. The App Store tells you what information they want to collect from you. Usually when you install it, I think, or at least when I had an Android, it told you when you installed the app. But now, when I go to the App Store, at least for Apple, it tells you straight away. Data linked to you. Again, location. Your location is being sent to third-party advertisers. That's just TikTok. It is, the number one must-have app in the App Store right now. I could definitely recommend against using it for those exact reasons I just went over. Let's see. Snapchat. Let's look at Snapchat. What do you think Snapchat wants from you? Data used to track you. The following data may be used to track you across apps and websites owned by other companies. You know what we call those? Excuse me. You know what we call those companies that do the tracking across different companies? Data brokers. And I'm not sponsored, but there are services that you can go to. You can probably just Google it. Remove my information from data brokers. Data brokers. All this information goes to them, and they make money off of this. They take your data, and let's say I don't know, for example, Walmart. Walmart wants to know, will this person be interested in this certain product? And the data broker will say, we'll tell you who will be interested in that product, not who might be, based off of all this data that they give us for free. For free, they give us this data, and we sell it. We take your data and sell it. Here's the phone number, email address, location generally, and user ID and device ID. This user will definitely be interested in this product, Walmart. Oh, Walmart. I don't know. I'm Walmart now. I'm Walmart now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Here's $50. And now I'll be Snapchat. No problem. Thanks for the money. And now they have an unlimited database full of people that just blindly accept these agreements when they install the apps. For a long time too, they didn't even tell you what data. Like, app privacy was nothing. I think I want to say I saw the title of a video not too long ago that was called like the privacy boom. And hopefully my camera's still working. It's giving me a little notification. The privacy boom or something like that. And I love it. I love that people are even thinking about privacy. Yeah, crap you'd never buy. Yeah, okay, so that's because you keep this in mind. You keep it in mind when you're using devices, and you will select the lowest amount of data threshold for to be supplied, or you just won't use the app at all, like you said, to not because it collects so much information and does all this tracking and stuff. If you didn't do that, the ads that would be served to you would probably be more relevant. It's just, I mean, if you think about it now, I would bet they have some pretty advanced algorithms that, based on like YouTube, Twitter, now X, Snapchat based on just what they know from people scrolling and then stopping. They could take that data and say, based off of all the other stuff too, because they can track you across different apps. Oh, yeah, okay. You send them letters in the mail about all of your interests. See, I think we need to get you on here. We need to get you on here so you can put in your 2 cents of my whopping audience of you and me. Well, I was just talking earlier with somebody from one of the hacking discords. Yeah, 100%. Wonder how long that delay is until from when you sent that. I saw it and then said something. Yeah. So back to the apps. 100% about the scroll tracking. You know exactly what I'm saying. Whoever comes across this video, they probably won't even get to this point because it's been streaming now for an hour apparently. And OBS, who knows what OBS says. We'll go back to the app. Data used to track you. Contact info, identifiers. Okay, so not only are you potentially with some of these apps like Snapchat, it obviously the data linked to you is your contact list too. So it can take you're not even exposing just yourself anymore when you accept these app install agreements. You're accepting expanding that risk even further to your contacts. Yeah. Oh wow. That's actually not bad. It's only like 10 seconds. But now you are creating a third party risk is what we call it in the cybersecurity world. And maybe even a fourth party risk by just accepting these agreements to install these apps like Snapchat. You're exposing your contact information and all of your contacts and probably their phone numbers too. And their Apple IDs potentially, their email addresses, whatever's linked to Snapchat usernames. It's using so your usage data, your search history, your location, specific location too. And TikTok it only uses your what do they call it, rough location. Snapchat uses your specific location, purchases, contact info, user content. So the pictures you post, that means it can. I mean, I'm sure they use AI to see what's in the pictures around you and what you know, Snapchat's like taking videos and stuff. So is TikTok, but it's seeing the things in the background. It's using AI. What does this person? What else does this person have? Going on around them. It can take that data and use it and sell it to data brokers. Just something to keep in mind. Not only that, I mean, this one specifically, Snapchat says user content, but privacy practices may vary. For example, based on the features you use or your age. So, maybe there's a way to limit it a little bit. But if you look at their privacy policy too, that tells you a lot about what actually happens to the data that is acquired by these companies. Let's keep going. Snapchat. What's another good one? Twitch. Twitch is pretty widely used. Let's see what data Twitch uses. Okay, they just use identifiers to track you. That's not too bad, but it's still across apps and websites owned by other companies. The data that's linked to you, so your purchases, obviously to track your purchase information, user content, so whatever you're posting, identifiers, same thing that's used to track you, diagnostics, contact information, search history, usage data, other data. It doesn't even say what. Okay, actually, you can tap it. Let's see if it tells us what other data is. It just says other data types. Well, that's nice. So Twitch is even more suspect. So if you have Twitch installed, I mean, I wouldn't worry too much, but who knows? It just says other data. Might even have to go in their privacy policy and then maybe they define it. And if they don't, I don't know. It's messed up. It's messed up out there. And this is why cybersecurity is important. The practice of cybersecurity is just understanding where this data goes, how to protect it. For the most part, most companies just want to protect your data just so they don't get sued. They don't really care about privacy. Apple says they do. They don't. Apple cares about that dollar sign, that money. And I have all Apple products. They care about that money, that top dollar. And so we just glossed over some of the big apps, right? But if you get more granular into it and think about the apps that aren't just social media apps, essentially, these you think about like your banking app. Now you can do online healthcare. You can do interviews with your you can do doctor's appointments virtually now. Imagine where that data goes. It's so the cool thing about it. I don't know what you're saying. Me too, man. You said all Apple stuff. The crazy thing, I mean, the cool thing about the doctors type of thing is it's a separate data type. So if they are careless with that data, there's a little bit more of a hit for that specific company if they lose that data. You know, it's sometime in this dystopian future that most of the world's leaders are envisioning. You will probably only be able to use TikTok in a Faraday cage. No lie. But I forgot where I was going with that. But oh yeah, PHI. So that's what it's called. Protected health information. And then there's payment card information. The payment card information, I've seen a lot of really careless organizations get murked on that one, and they lose credit card information. So or it gets breached, or there's a man in the middle attack, somebody's skimming. It's the same thing as when you go to the gas station. Whenever you pay online, you're giving them your credit card number, the three wacky numbers on the back. Yep. Yep. Let's see. I wonder if I can. I wonder. I'm the same way. I try to keep the apps that I have installed to a minimum, and the things that I do online, I try to control to the most of my ability. But just to limit that data exposure. Yeah. Okay. So PHI, protected health information. That's what I was getting at with these doctor online health apps. There's a little bit more of a blowback if, let's say, they have poor security practice, and it also depends on the level of the PHI, I believe. I could I could be wrong on that, but it all matters. There's PCI, payment card information. There's lots of different types of information, and it's all protected in a different way. The biggest thing, though, I mean, it wasn't that long ago there was a breach that happened, and it was like all people. It was like all people from the government in the DC area, and their full name, date of birth, phone number, address, uh, their health records. So, and that's including, like, let's say mental health records. All that stuff got exposed and leaked. That was huge. And I mean, and I'm almost positive that adversely affected adversely affected their ability to get promoted or to move on to the next role or and path in their life. just ask the question. Um, it was huge. I don't know for a fact, but I would strongly assume so. Yeah. Yeah. Um, that might have another meaning, to be honest. But I would assume in that context, PCI compliance, yeah, payment card information compliance. Basically, any, which is why Shopify is recommended when you first put up a site. First put up a site and you're selling things online, to use Shopify, because then you don't have to deal with any of that payment card information compliance stuff. You don't have to do annual penetration tests and whatever else comes with that PCI compliance bracket. It's different, I think, for each level, but you know, use Shopify or something. Yeah, exactly. Stripe. See, Stripe's another one. It's you're just taking that risk and putting it in somebody else's hands. I don't want to deal with that. Psh, here you go. Here you go. You deal with it. But when that's the only thing that they do, they're going to be good at it. They're going to make sure that they get that compliance stuff passed, and your information probably has a better chance of not being leaked. I wonder if anybody will watch me ramble on about security information and types of security information. Yeah, and OBS. I just hate OBS. Anyway, yeah, they're definitely not going to sponsor me now. That's for sure. Okay, so, and another reason why I'm doing this is to just generally help me with public speaking, because it would be better if there's a bunch of people on here. One day maybe I'll get there. It's going to help me talk about things in a more natural way, especially when I'm presenting reports. Here, that's something I didn't expect. It's actually a lot different because in the military, I had many chances to hire someone. Yeah, dude, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. um, what was I talking about? It's been a long day. Oh yeah, reporting. So public speaking. That's why I'm doing this. Trying to generally develop my public speaking comfortability. And one of the things I did for that is make my desk a stand-up desk again. Finally, I'm trying to see the chat and watch myself at the same time. So that's kind of fun. I definitely found that. See, I just did it right there. That's one of the things I need to work on too. Removing the uhs and I guess speakers call them the dumb words. So, and, but. Well, and but are kind of necessary. I think a long pause is better than an How do you feel about that? Yeah, sharing some sweet 0 day knowledge. Comfortability. Comfortability. It does need to be. Comfortability. Comfort. Comfortability. Comfortability. I don't know. I'm sure comfortability is just being generally comfortable talking and trying to. Woosah. Yeah. Yeah, somebody's asking. this is another thing too. Working to, I can't really speak on this too much because of, I think it's currently in the works right now in the government. They're working on developing regulations around AI and how do they use it. And one of the things I just saw, I want to say it was about a month ago. I saw the government. You know what? I'm just gonna look it up. But the United States government was in light of the new executive order that Joe Biden just signed. A company is just gonna they're gonna take their huge data center and put it on a boat and hire a paramilitary force to guard it and then put it on the ocean. Because then guess what? You're in international waters. You don't have to adhere to the new regulations that were passed. And I'm not going to look it up. I don't feel like reading an executive order right now. And my continuity camera is going to die. Look that up, Jimmy. Yeah. 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 You guys ever see that bear eat a computer? Look that up. Jamie, will you pull that up? So pretty soon here, I'm probably going to put up a projector and have it do maybe like a matrixy backdrop behind me. Just something because I have an old projector. It's VGA. Might as well do something cool with it. Anyways, so there I am again doing it. Let's talk about cybersecurity best practices. Let's go on the first subject, individual. That is one of the most important aspects of remaining secure and keeping your total environment secure. Cool. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Keeping your total environment secure, keeping yourself secure, and working your way out. So you start with yourself. It's the same concept with security. Just drop the cyber off, like I was saying. Just security. You start with yourself and work your way out. I can't do it. I can't do it. You start from yourself. You work your way out. You get to your family. You get to your home. You secure it from the center out. Sometimes it works a little differently in organizations. Some organizations are just built without security in mind at all. Let's say a park, for example. You take a park and let's say you need to make it secure. The park is designed to be free and open for people to come and go as they please. There's no real fence, there's no borders. There's just a park. And let's say you need to secure that too. The same thing could apply when it comes to cybersecurity and security in general, just as I explained with the park. When you have an organization that was built without security in mind, and the first one that comes to mind is Microsoft. Microsoft essentially chose to develop and design its environment without security in mind, almost at all. It was the internet in general was meant to be free and open, of course, like a park, which is one of the reasons why it was difficult to. It's still difficult to make it secure. It was meant to freely and openly share information. Step one: bulldoze the park. Step one: remove the park. Essentially, so if we take it into this comparison and we say that Microsoft is to security as a park is to security, and we have to try and secure that. If we work from the individual out, or or the we start at the basis of the organization and we build it from the ground up, security mind, it's going to be way more secure than it is. For example, a prison. You compare the security of a prison and a park. Obviously, the prison was built with security in mind. More to keep people in, yeah, but The same concept applies. Try to turn a park into a prison. Good luck. It's going to take a lot of time, money, effort. You're going to need engineers. The same concept applies to a lot of organizations too that need security. They need to implement these security practices. A lot of organizations just come up and they're built around without security in mind at all. That's something that I run into. And there you go again. I'm glad you're my number one fan. But we need to get you on here. Get you on here and ask you some questions. Quiz you. No, just kidding. But it'd be cool. I wonder what's going to happen when my continuity camera dies. Because I don't have an iPhone cable. Because Apple, they only give you, what, a 3-foot one? And if you want to buy a 6-foot one, it's like $60. You $10 a foot. Thank you. Thank you for the compliment on my analogy. It happens. It's super common, and people will come to you. Most of the time, they come to you after a breach happens too. After an insane security event unfolds, they're already in the doghouse, so to speak. The organization's already in the doghouse. Oh, it froze. Okay. Let me go to OBS. Other basic system. Oh yeah, I can see it now. It's just frozen there. That's funny. Oh, I think I could just pull up my. I have to add it into this video. Existing. Wait. I wonder what this one is. I don't see it. Properties. Oh, that's why. Hello. There we go. We're just gonna. Make me a nice and I'll just cover up that frozen one. Yes. So, for example, like you just said there, when it comes to a banking breach, too, they're the worst with that. Yeah. So sorry, we accidentally let all of your data get stolen, and you may be receiving a lot of spam calls. And here's a free identity monitoring service. They probably have your social security number. They know where you live. They have your address. They know your birth date. They know your mother's maiden name. They know the 3 wacky numbers on the back. And they're going to take that information and sell it on the dark web. The dark web is definitely that's going to win the algorithm for sure, because I just said that. This video is going to get at least 200 views. I've said AI, I've said dark web, I've said TikTok. Yeah, this one's going to be huge. Breaches. Like I was saying, the companies usually come and seeking help. Like, please help us. We've been breached. Incident response is a whole nother game. It's a whole nother ball game. There's all kinds of considerations you need to make with incident response. But that's another thing that falls into the umbrella, this huge, massive umbrella of cybersecurity. Yeah. Or is it? I don't know. At this point, I would believe it. That we're, well, there was another thing that just happened that actually brings up another point. There was, I want to say it was somebody providing security services to a company hacked the company they were providing security services for so that they could get money. So they could get more, incident response money, money to do another security engagement. So I mean, if that's happening and it was caught, that was just the one time it was caught. I'm sure it's happening a lot more often. If you think about these huge Fortune 500 companies that have security monitoring, I would not put it past them for people to kind of come together and make a decision. Somebody inside the company, hey, do a breach this day, and then they give it a little kickback. Maybe they get 20%, maybe they get 30%. It's just another mafia. But now we're just conspiracizing. Well, that's going to bring the algorithm down. We're not supposed to do that on YouTube. Prison, Bark, Walmart, Microsoft. In the end, it's just another organization that needs to be secured. And sometimes I sit down and at night I'm laying in bed and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, how are these people not just doing it legit? Why won't they just? I mean, I'm glad they don't go legit, because then I would be out of a job. But it would just take. I guess they have a criminal record. That probably dwindles it down quite a bit. But like we were getting at, start from the individual and work your way out. The same thing applies to every organization. If you can convince everybody that works in a place, let's say Walmart, we'll go back to Walmart as an example. You can convince every worker at Walmart to be more secure in their cyber world. That in turn is going to make Walmart a more secure organization. You could avoid insider threat possibilities somewhat. That doesn't stop somebody that just works at Walmart but hates them from doing a data dump or implanting a virus, something like that. But it reduces the likelihood that somebody is going to log into, let's say they're a high-level manager and they work at Walmart and they're doing logistical operations. And on their computer, they also download some sketchy software, and in this software is a hidden malware. The malware detonates. They get hacked. Walmart's logistical system gets hacked. And the funny thing about that is Walmart might not even know for a long time. That threat actors are really good at that, covering their tracks, making it look like it never happened. Deleting logs, removing instances, using Tor IPs. You can't trace them. They can do it. Yep, this is just another TED Talk. We'll get there. When we come back for the next live stream, we might talk about some more technologies, more of the regulatory compliance and standards, incident response. We already kind of touched on that a little bit. Cybersecurity paths, career paths. That's huge. It's that same thing. It's that going through the door. You go through that you open that door and it's just a million other doors. It's the same thing for cybersecurity career paths. We can look at maybe future trends in cybersecurity, emerging trends, challenges, IoT security, cloud security, quantum computing, cryptography. We can take a look at how LLMs are being utilized and leveraged to crack these algorithms. And as we have these people, currently we have scientists working day in and day out trying to develop these cryptologic technologies to make them more strong against attacks. That's all. We touch on that in the next video. If you watch this, cool. If not, you didn't know. Yeah, we're gonna sign off. I need to go to bed. It's late. Got a long day tomorrow. Bye, friends.